I've been a coach for over 7 years now, and in that time period, I've made a huge presence on social media, and I've attended live event and trip after trip. And a lot of the coaches that started a little bit before me, at the same time or afterwards, have followed my journey as a coach and seen the rise and fall of my success and the ebbs and flows that come with life. Most recently, I'd say in the last 3 years, people have followed my sobriety journey and path towards more health in the mental health department. And recently, within the last about 20 months, I've dealt with a lot of like health issues and gaining weight, and then recently losing a bunch of weight. And on this trip particularly, people had noticed how much I've changed, and that this is, they made the comments that this is the leanest I've been, the best I've looked. And I'll tell you, this is the best that I feel that I've looked and felt. And a lot of times people are asking, like, what are you doing? And that's really how my coaching career got started. When I first got my first, bit of results in the health and fitness department, people are like, what are you doing? And so what I have been doing is following some very basic, simple principles when it comes to eating that came from basically a digital course that was created by a very successful dietitian that had struggled with her weight all through childhood. I was part of the test group, so I got to try it out way before it was launched to the public, and I've had great success with it. And so I was telling some of our friends today when we were discussing it that they said, are you just following this and this and this principle from that program? I said, yeah. I said, but there's so much more of it. That following that program not only helped give some basic principles to follow that weren't restrictive, but really helped me overcome the emotional eating and the binge eating. And I've always been one of those all or nothing people, which is really what led to my sobriety. I really couldn't find the balance. And it was the same thing with food. Like, addiction is addiction. Filling voids is something that a lot of people are trying to do, whether you fill it with one addiction or another, a legal one or a one that is normal, like food, or something that is maybe shameful. It's all the same. And what I found is following this program is it's taught me to not engage in that mindset of binge eating, emotional eating, and it helped me. So whereas I followed the principles to the best of my ability on the cruise, if you've ever went on a cruise, you'll understand that the food quality and the types of food that are available don't necessarily fit in line with somebody who's trying to eat healthy and be conscious of that. But I came in with the mindset that helped me not binge and not feel guilty, where I actually got to enjoy it. And this is the second trip that I went on. I went on a trip to Mexico, which was part of a paid vacation through our company last April. And I actually lost weight on that trip. And I always had this pattern, and I think that a lot of people do, is that you go on vacation, maybe you diet before so you look good, and then you come away gaining a lot of weight, and then you beat yourself up over it, and then you start this process all over again, and you're like, 10 steps behind. But what I found with this is that I was able to go on a trip and not feel like I was depriving myself, but also not beating myself up over having treats or going off the plan, and then also having the peace of mind knowing that when I go home back to reality, back to the regular routine, that it's going to come off easily. And so this has been a whole year now of this sustainable lifestyle. And I think that that's what people are really looking for, because there are lots of get skinny quick things out there, and people are always looking for that. But the problem is, and you'll see, I've seen this over the years, that somebody's like, oh my God, did you see so-and-so? They look so good. They lost so much weight. And then the first question people ask, like, let's see how long they'll keep it off. I'll say that I have steadily been losing weight. I track my weight just because it's hard to remember on the Fitbit app. And on this day a year ago, I weighed like almost 15 pounds more than I weigh now. I got on a scale when I left town on Friday, first thing in the morning, without clothes on, which I normally do, and I weighed 132.2. I got here to my coach's house, and I weighed, I think I don't know, 137.6. So I gained about 5 pounds. I'm not worried about it because I have the skill set and I have the tools and I have the knowledge that I've learned over the last year to get it off. I'm not worried about it. I know that I can get it off literally in less than a week. And it's funny though, because I was looking back that on our first cruise that we went to, that as soon as we got back to our house, same place, stood on the same scale, and I weighed a lot more, like 143. And I remember feeling so bad about myself. My husband gained a shit ton of weight, but we just went hard on the trip, just ate whatever, no balance, and then we felt bad about it. And right after I got home, back to Texas back then, I was invited to be part of a test group of a new program. And I remember thinking like, oh God, I'm so relieved, that I'll get the weight off. And now I don't have to worry about that. And so that's what I've shared with everybody that, I was running into on the cruise. It was like, what are you doing? It's really not so much what I'm doing maybe every day as just the mindset as a whole, is that I live life without depriving myself. I have a certain, set of things that I follow, sometimes pretty strictly, sometimes loosely, but it's living and it's sustainable. And the workouts I'm doing are literally 20-minute workouts 6 days a week. When I was following the program formally for the first round, I worked out 6 days a week. I started round 2 loosely because I'm starting a new program that's relaunching tomorrow. So I've worked out maybe like 4 to 5 times a week instead of the 6 days a week, and I've been able to keep it off, and I've steadily been losing weight. When I left on vacation on Friday, I was at the lowest weight I have been, with a lot more muscle than I did when I weighed that same amount like 7 years ago. So anyways, if you're one of those people that has a problem with binging or yo-yoing or getting sucked into the emotional side or the addiction of food, and you're looking for a solution so that you can still live, you can still enjoy events, you don't feel like you're being deprived, and it's not just this up and down, let's talk, because I am proof now that not only does it work and you get results, but it's sustainable. This is going on since February of last year, and now this makes 2 or actually 3. I went on 3 trips where I have actually not gained a lot of weight or lost weight or maintained it. And that is really the hardest thing. Anybody can lose weight, but really maintaining that healthy weight, the healthy body type, and a sustainable lifestyle is what really people are looking for.